You're listening to Real Estate and Bourbon. Whether you like it neat or on the rocks, you're in the right place. And now your host, Dawn Roy.
Oh my goodness, my sweet babies. We are back for another episode of Real Estate and Bourbon, and we've got a fun one for you. This is Thanksgiving week, and we are absolutely over the top in love and thankful for you. I have with me today one of the dearest people I know. Her name is Ann Pershing with Show Simply, and she's the reason my house is sell. She's the one.
I don't know about that. I just help you out, just partner when I can. So yeah.
You're fantastic. I don't think people understand what staging a house does for a house.
Staging does. Everybody thinks it's decorating, but it's not. It is marketing your house. It is getting your house show ready to go out on the internet and those pictures pop, because we are a swipe left, swipe right world.
It's a dating app.
Zillow
is a dating app.
It is. And if I don't like the first one or two pictures,
I'm out.
I'm moving on. I'm moving on. So it's about marketing that house, and then not only marketing the house, but marketing you as an agent. That this is what my listings look like, and for you to sell to.
This is my level of service.
Yep. This is my branding. This is what I'll do for you. Yeah. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
And we have not had bourbon together. We have talked about it.
Talked about doing bourbon forever.
And we haven't. And I was going to come to the screen porch because you've got like this outstanding screen porch, but you had ordered bourbon glasses that you wanted to come in.
And they finally came.
And it's about time.
And now I have Georgia Bulldog ice cubes. So
Georgia Bulldog,
Go Dogs. Yeah.
Go Dogs. There you go.
So
there you go.
I want to talk about before we get started. So tell me about what this jar is and what.
So this is the swear jar.
Okay.
And number one is because
shit fuck damn.
Wow, she went there.
Boom. You know me, I love Jesus.
But
I talk to that precious creator every morning. I'm usually on my little lounge chair with a cup of coffee at 4:30, and he and I are having time together. But I cuss a little.
Want to cuss a little?
I do. I cuss a little. And when Michael and I were talking about doing this podcast, I didn't want to do a traditional real estate podcast because I think that's kind of been. There's enough of that out there.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something like the backstories of real estate, the stuff that you and I see and other professionals like title companies and lenders.
Pulling back the screen.
We're pulling back the wizard. And the wizard has no drawers on.
And he's doing the cranking.
And he's probably naked.
Because he's saying, Toto! Leave that curtain alone.
And Michael says, well, what is it that you like? I said, bourbon, Jesus, and about 3 people maybe. So we decided I really wanted to profile bourbons on a weekly basis. It's a new habit for me, probably in the last 2 years. My sweet, precious Charlie Merrill, who's already been on the podcast, introduced me to bourbon during COVID because I was collecting corks. Let's not, I ain't going to lie. I was putting down the red wine pretty good. And so I'm absolutely in love with this product, with whiskey products in general. And I just wanted to have an outlet to maybe expose other people to it, and especially women. I think women are becoming a larger demographic of the consuming market for your bourbons and your whiskeys.
That's me. I started drinking it probably 6 months ago and just hooked.
Like it's and when you get it, you get it.
I want to do this before we get started.
What?
So we can.
You're just going to go ahead and prepay.
For about an hour, maybe. How about
Man.
There you go. That's how it goes. Because once the jar is filled, my sweet friends, because I'm an animal lover, this gal has got 2 of the most precious, bougie
cats. They don't know they're bougie, though.
They are so gorgeous, though. They're rag dolls, if anybody wants to look that up. And once we fill it up, this goes to an animal rescue, and then we'll start her up again.
So you know how we got into these bougie cats is we've always been the animal rescue people.
Right.
That people call us and, hey, we found this cat, and we're like, all right, let us look at it. And it comes and it, missing teeth and
half the hair is gone and it's got mange or something.
So our daughter does this research. She says, I want a ragdoll cat. And my husband says,
Dave sees the price and really throws up.
right. And I go, they're really expensive. And he goes, all right, let's do the math on this. How much was the last cat's dental bill when it comes to us and we had to pull 7 teeth because it's been living in a gutter, and then, or they get some kind of digestive thing and we end up, changing the litter box every day for this. Will you please take this cat? And then we end up having them forever. And so he's like, so let me get this right. We pay one price. It's healthy.
It's guaranteed health from the breeder.
It has all its shots. And it has good to go, and it's litter box trained. And I go, yeah. He goes, let's get it.
It's an easy sale.
Yep. And then we got another one. Yeah.
Right. So, and they're gorgeous. I mean, their crystal blue eyes are just to die for.
They're so spoiled. They're so funny too. Like they're bred to be like dogs, so they have
very much so. I mean, they follow you. That one follows you around. He just
yep.
And he's just like, pick me up. I love it. I love it. Well, what I wanted to do is I want to introduce you to a rye, and this is 100% rye. It's going to be super spicy. I'm not going to lie to you, girl. It is 96 proof.
Sweat from my nose.
We're going to sweat a little bit. But I think it's a perfect bourbon for the season because it's got a lot of citrus notes. It's got a lot of cinnamon notes. I think we're almost going to be drinking a pumpkin pie here.
Love it.
And I thought with the cold weather, which thank you, Jesus has come to Virginia.
Yes.
I am wearing cowboy boots on a daily basis and I am in love. So this is called Whistle Pig and this is their piggyback 100% rye and it's a 6-year age. So I'm just getting excited thinking about it. Here we go. A little bit for you, my sweet girl, and a little bit for me. Oh, that smells good. Does it smell good? Let me see. Hey, to you, bye. I love you. Okay, let's take a little sip of that bad boy. Oh, that is cinnamony. Cinnamony. Holy cow, that's like what are those cinnamon things we used to eat as kids?
Yeah, it's got some vanilla in it too, something smooth in there.
Yeah, but it's not as spicy. I was expecting spicy. It's not.
What are those cinnamon candies?
They're little red hearts.
Yes. and you eat it for about a minute, and then you be like, I can't take this anymore.
Oh, this is delightful. Mike, we're just going to sit here and sip a minute if that's okay with you. That is dang good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, people, so shout out my local ABC store, which is store 284. And it's kind of sad when you know your store number. It's at Charter Colony Parkway. The manager there is Robin. I went to get this bottle in particular because it was on sale. It's a $50 bottle of bourbon. They had it on sale for $40. And I got there and of course it's gone. And so she walks up to me and says, what are you looking for? And I said, well, I wanted to get the Whistle Pig. And she says, let me go look. And daggone it if she didn't find me too. Oh, so Robin, you're my girl. I'll be back to see you probably tomorrow before Thanksgiving to make sure I got all the good stuff. But that daggone it right there for never knowing, I've never tasted that brand at all.
It's good. It's good.
Man, is it cinnamony. Woo, that's wonderful.
So I first started drinking the smoked one.
Yes, you do the old-fashioned. Yes.
Okay. And I love the whole presentation. You know, like, look at me. And
I'm smoking my glass. Smoking my glass.
And my husband's always like,
does Dave know that you had a little bit of a wild side?
Oh, he knows. He's been married to me 21 years. That's the joy of getting married at 35 for the second time. We've never talked about, who we've been with.
Like body count, nonsense.
No, none of that stuff. Like, let's just assume you were married and I was married.
And you kind of know what you're doing and I kind of know what I'm doing.
And let's not discuss, because I remember we were moving somewhere and he opens up this box and I used to go out with this NFL player and he sees this picture and he calls me and I go, and he goes, who is, and I go, do you really want to have this conversation? Like, really, do we really need to open all this up, or do we need to just assume both of us have had sex with other people? And from this point on,
It's
if
just
we get
you.
married, we're not going to have sex with other people. Can we just be adults about this?
I love it.
And he goes, because he knows his past.
Right.
Okay. And I'm not saying, believe me, I'm not saying.
No. But I think this is a great standard because there's a lot of second marriages. I mean, getting married for the second time has a more commonality than you think. I mean, I have a divorce attorney friend who she is working herself to death because anybody who's been married 20 years or more, she's getting more divorce cases. Not like, oh, they've been married for 2 or 3 years and no, it's like 18, 20, 25 years.
Oh, they did it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because your BFF that you used to talk about on Facebook,
Yeah.
you were locked up in the house with that motherfucker all day long.
Yep.
Let me throw another one in there. This whistle pig is damn good.
This is a conversation I had no idea was going to go.
Bring us back around. Bring us back around, Poppy.
Why do we have?
Is he already shocked at the shit we're bringing up? Well, God,
Right.
Why do we have this guest in today?
Well, we did have some, interesting title, mortgage thing to talk about, but I mean, we can get around to that. We can get around to that. But so did y'all agree to?
So we agree. We're not talking about this, and we never have. And thank God.
That's the best thing.
Because what does it matter? Like, really, does it matter when you get married the second time? There's no fairy tale shit. You know what you're going into. You know what you've committed to. You know, and you've asked all the right questions this time.
This time you did.
Like who, where are we drinking on Thanksgiving? What relatives are we drinking with on Thanksgiving?
Right.
All of those are questions. And so you go into marriage with eyes wide open, knowing that what happened before that day doesn't matter.
And it's usually really none of your business.
It is none of your business. And it's who created me to be who I am. So
that you want to be with now.
And so it isn't that I was wild. It's just he and I are very different people. We have this great photo of us going down a roller coaster at Busch Gardens. When they take the photo, he's holding on for dear life.
Like he is scared
to death. And I'm going, wow. Right. And it's like, and the title of the picture is, and they married each other. And we compliment each other.
Well, it's that yin and the yang.
It is the yin and the yang. And it works beautifully.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, he's precious. I adore him.
He's fun.
Well, what we did to circle back around to Michael's suggestion.
My boring suggestion.
Well, it is a boring suggestion because we're talking about sex and shit, and you want to go talk about business. Okay, I get you, Mike. I get you. Maybe you should drink a little more. So, talking off screen, camera before you got here. Sometimes I think that the public thinks that people in real estate or people who are in our field, regardless,
industry.
all of this comes naturally to them, and when they do their own transactions, it all goes smoothly and everything, which can be it couldn't be any further from the truth.
Right.
So Ann had a very interesting situation when you sold your home and you built a new home.
We built a new home
and you closed on it. And tell us, it was, first of all, it was a shit show and it could have got real ugly.
Yeah.
It could have gone super south, but fill us in a little bit.
We sold the one house and we moved into an apartment because this was like the beginning of the crazy market.
Right.
Where we didn't know things were going to sell quickly and at asking price. So my house sold in 8 hours.
Yeah.
So we didn't know we could have negotiated to live in it till our other house was ready. So we agreed to move into this apartment. Plus,
because you're building new construction.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've always kind of had this karma about you leave people better so that the energy evolves to you too.
Absolutely.
So this was a family moving in. They wanted to be in by 4th of July so they could get settled and get their kids in school. And I'm like, we can make that happen. So we're staying in this apartment. I'm staging like crazy my daughter's living in the apartment during the day. We're making sure she's locked in. And can I go hang out at the pool? No, wait till somebody gets home, It's ass hot. It's,
Right.
It's July. We're staging where I've got this client that is like I want top dollar for my house. But before you get here, I've got to go do yoga and walk my dog and drink my chai latte.
And complicate everything.
And you go into his house, and it's a divorce situation, and and I know, you figure out really quickly, this is why she left this son of a bitch, And it's
I'm glad she prepaid. I'm not even throwing quarters in. We may just have to make a whole credit for Ann, look up, like we'll do Venmo. I love that.
the thing.
You're the best. So you do. You walk into those houses and you're like, and this is why.
And this is why. And so his dog had chewed up like all of his really expensive stuff in the house, like crate and barrel furniture in the back porch. And he wants me to bring my stuff into his house. And my
For
business
the dog
property,
to do the same?
Yes. And the dog's peeing. And oh yeah, please let me bring my throw pillows in here that are my business property
For your dog to hump. Thank you very much.
So I've got all this going on, and all of a sudden I start getting text messages of your house note is due. Your house note is past due. I finally get some time to call the bank, and this is Wells Fargo, big bank. I know everybody hates big Wells Fargo, but they were our mortgage. And I call, and I'm like, hey.
And how long have you been closed since?
I'd say maybe 3 weeks.
Okay, long enough.
Yeah.
Long
And
enough.
I'm like, hey, this is saying that we've got a mortgage payment due, and we just closed on this house, 3 weeks ago. Ma'am, I'm sorry, we don't show any payment for this mortgage. And I'm like, what? And so she said, let me check and see if there's any money sitting somewhere that's supposed to be coming in.
It went to escrow or it's in a pending status or something.
So we start calling. I called the agent. I called the title company. Everything has, it's this big pot of money.
Funds were dispersed.
And then it's all dispersed. And
everybody's been paid.
Everybody's been paid. And what happened is the title company, like my husband says, fat fingered it and put in the wrong account number to transfer
The money.
the money from the payoff of our mortgage. And it went to a flipper in Glen Allen.
Holy cow.
Okay.
So, it was like a local. Of all the account numbers on planet
All
Earth,
the account numbers on the planet Earth at Wells Fargo.
it went to a guy who flips houses in Glen Allen.
And then you find out that the title company owes the flipper money.
So he ain't giving it back.
And he ain't giving it back. And he's telling Wells Fargo, this is my money. This title company owes me money.
Wow.
I'm holding on to it. So meanwhile,
You're having a panic attack.
yes,
And Dave is ready to jump off the balcony.
because I've told him these are people I trust in the industry, and we're,
All is good.
all is good. So Wells Fargo says we can't make that happen because this person is claiming it's their money. And
Right.
And so the thing that made me crazy about it is the title company, and I'm not naming names. I will tell you this person is still in business right now and still works with people I know.
It should not be, maybe.
No accountability. No, blamer. Everything was somebody's fault. No apology to me, and absolutely no empathy for
The fact that you've lost a lot of money.
hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like,
A bunch of money.
yes, okay.
Sick money.
Yes. Okay. So, and
You're in the process of buying another house. By the
Yes.
way, that money is earmarked. It's not like you're just going to go, well, let's go on a vacay day.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the title company ghosts me. And so my husband, you get him on something. Ooh, he's digging. He's the one that found out the flipper had changed business names several times, that the title company owed that flipper money. Like it was this, you could just feel it was just this scam. Okay.
Going on, right.
And so, so now at this time, we're still working on this. We're closing on our house. We end up having to borrow $10,000 more because we thought we need to hold on to like 10 grand because we're paying the mortgage on the house we don't own.
That you don't even live in and have no title to.
Exactly. And now we're going to pay the mortgage on this house. And we don't know how long this is going to go on. Is it going to be
Easily remedied or not?
And I got to take a sip before I say this because
Do I need to get another $20 bill out? We'll put some more money in that pot.
so I get an email from the title company telling me we will pay your mortgage while we get this. And I'm like, you can't even get my closing right. Do you think I'm going to entrust you with my credit score for the next 7 years that I can trust that you're going to pay my mortgage payment on this other house and me not go into like foreclosure or something?
Oh, absolutely.
With a national bank that's going to screw my credit up. Oh, and by the way, my business stuff is with Wells Fargo.
Yes.
Also, my business account.
Right.
Okay. So I don't trust you to pay this. I want you. Where the hell is my money?
Right.
Is what.
You need to make a claim on your, your E&O.
So
And let's get it.
we find that out. I don't know if everybody knows what E&O is. I was in insurance for 15 years. E&O is errors and omissions. It's specifically
For this kind of doo-doo.
Guess what? Their insurance company denied the E&O because they've done this before.
On that note,
So
let's take another sip.
So we're moved into our house.
So they're not, this is not they have had this opportunity to fuck up this bad before. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And all of it's way too coincidental. Okay.
Yeah.
And the email explains to me that they are suing this flipper for the money and that we can get on the lawsuit if we'd like.
No.
to.
We're not going to wait for some lawsuit to travel through the court system.
And I'm like, I don't give a damn about your money. You were entrusted as a fiduciary with my money. Where the hell is my money?
That is now the title of the show, Michael. Let's go ahead and print.
I didn't use F. I used H. So
Where the fucking hell is my money? If it were several $100,000, I would add all the expletives necessary for you to even survive the process.
So then we said, that's it. Done. Hired an attorney, got an attorney involved. Of course, we're paying for the attorney.
Of course.
So they go to bat for us completely. Oh my God. And you know who the attorney was. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
And one of the things, like when we started talking about, okay, what are our damages? What do we want? What do we want in this? And one of the things I was adamant about is I am not paying this title company's fee.
Right.
They're $450.
Right.
Because they fucked up my title.
Right.
I'm not paying their fee. And he goes, first one on the list.
Check read. There we go.
Then I also wanted that $10,000 that we didn't put down on the new house amortized over 30 years.
Right.
Because if we had taken a mortgage out for $10,000 less,
Correct.
because that can be $100,000.
That's a lot of money.
He goes,
Check a reading. Let's do that one.
So then, we didn't get that much money, but we got enough that it satisfied us.
Correct.
My husband was wanting to go for the, I want them to pay and I want them out of business.
No one hangs in the town square.
And I want to pull the noose, He was so upset. And And the attorney told us, he goes, we could do that. He goes, but this will be in litigation for years.
We need to satiate this. We have got to get this done.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be done.
And he said, you're never going to get satisfaction out of this. I think the things we're asking for are reasonable. I think you'll get them. And so we ended up with lawsuit.
How quickly did this all transpire?
It took like 5 months. So
For this to transpire.
yes. So we're paying the 2 mortgages for 5 months for it to go to court. I mean, our attorney had to go to court. Like, I'm like, can I come there? Because I want to talk about.
Can I throw punch somebody?
Can I talk about that? This is a military family who, has made their home here. And,
Yeah.
And they are like, we got this, we got this, we got this. And they did. And I used to not be a big fan of attorneys, but I've had a couple circumstances in my life where
They come through. Well, and just like all of our professions,
yep.
there are shitty realtors.
Yeah.
There are great realtors. There's shitty stagers.
Yeah.
I don't care what profession you're in. There's someone who will cloud that profession, and it's incumbent upon us to rectify that by our engagement with the general public or whatever. But the attorneys that I know and you and I know are top tier.
Yep.
They're just good people doing really good work.
Yeah.
And I have no hesitation to, but most of them are not really attorney-like, right?
Right.
They're like normal people.
Yeah.
And not some, snob or who looks down. They're just really they get into the trenches with you and they duke it out. And I like that about it. So yeah, I agree with you on
Well, it
that.
gave us great advice about, there's a certain point where you want to pay for your sanity and your peace of mind.
Correct. You need to have resolve.
Yeah.
Because if to continue this it's almost like a manic process.
Yeah.
And you lose quality of life.
Quality of
Time
life.
You can't get back. And how old was your
She was 14, 13.
Yeah, so
14,
those are big years for you. I mean, are you going to spend more time futzing over this?
Nope.
Or just take the money and call it a day?
Go on an amazing vacation to Germany for Christmas Eve. And
that was fantastic.
yeah, it was. And it was something we had always wanted to do. And
boy, did you need it.
we needed it. And it was, but here's my precautionary tale: work with professionals.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting a call from a real estate agent that's offering you, I'll sell your house for 2%, you see the signs on the side of the road. Well, what does that mean to you? Who is that? Is that person going to be behind you when this deal, this is your most valuable asset, really?
Right.
Most people
Right.
do not have, investments that total.
Well,
what
the
their house
American
is
dream,
worth.
right? It's the only path to, financial wealth that we have. And
Right.
you're not in Congress and, playing with the stock market and insider trading. We don't get to do that. Let me throw that in there.
Yeah.
But and thank you for saying that, because the reason I will give a gratuity to a repeat client, someone that does multiple transactions with me out of just a loyalty. I'm loyal to you. You're loyal to me.
Right.
You get all the same top tier stuff. But when I sit down with someone I've never met in a listing appointment who's wanting me to compromise my commission, your value, the only value you see in a realtor or someone who is going to market your home for you is how cheaply they can
Right.
do it.
Right.
I suggest you go to Redfin or
You're not
any of the other discount brokerages. You're welcome. Have at it. See you. Good luck to you. Talk to you later.
I think the story early on when I was staging and it went crazy. I mean, it was so busy, and you're trying to build a business, and I've always been really conscious of money and making sure I'm profitable. And I mean, there's stagers that go out there and I'm going to borrow 20 grand. I'm like,
And rent a lease warehouse
and
to store
this
stuff.
wrapped van that's $80,000, and,
Oh my
and
God.
you're going, are you kidding me? This is so irresponsible.
That's the same mentality as the realtors who get on Facebook and go, well, what kind of car should I buy? Oh my God. The one you can afford?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because they have this really terrible mentality that I need to drive a Beamer or a Mercedes. Listen, and okay to those brands. But drive what you want.
Right.
But if you are attaching your value statement and your sense of self as a professional
and your branding
to a damn car,
you see it. It's the divas.
you're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
Stop that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, and maybe I should not say this. Is it? Well, I don't know. Let's do it. I mean, let's get hate.
We've said a lot, so
We've gone from second marriages to,
let's just say this out here, and you see this even in your space. If you have to post on Facebook and social media that how much you closed this year or what number you are in your brokerage or whatever, has any client ever asked you, how well did you do? I hope you made a killing last year. No one cares, okay? And I don't know of any doctor, attorney, surgeon, any other profession that's licensed by the Commonwealth of Virginia. And we are licensed by the Commonwealth, and we are held to a high standard, okay? Nobody posts that bullshit in any other profession. Stop it.
but what does that mean? I mean, it's like,
if I
jump on it.
If I was going to do brain surgery, I wouldn't want the first guy, the new guy. I could say that.
I don't want the new guy. You don't want the new guy, but you don't want the one that's out on social media going, well, I did 12 brain surgeries last year and only
Let me
3
show-
died.
and let me show you my new bow.
And let me show you my new $250,000 bow.
Instead, here's my qualifications. You need to be competent and you need to be kind.
Yes.
And what I want to know for you as a professional, do you take care of the $250,000 home that's a single mom as well as you do the $1 million plastic surgery?
Bring it, girl. Amen to that. Amen. Preach it
Because
up.
you see
Preach
people
it
as
up.
people, not as a paycheck.
Well, and I will tell you, people can smell when you see a transaction emblazed across their forehead. It is, and I would have to say, I probably see people as people far more than I see them as a business thing. I could probably sell more homes or do more production, but I'm not going to come at you. I am going to truly tell you what you need to know to be successful on the journey that you're telling me you want to be on.
Right.
Rather than telling you what I think you should hear so you'll pick me to overprice your house. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
I just am not
And then
playing that game.
I'm going to drop it 20,000
The minute
later.
right.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
Jesus provides for me. He's got me. That poor man hears from me so much. He's probably like, girl, come on now. I talked to you at 4:30. I'm okay. He takes care of me. I don't worry. I don't worry about any what's going to happen in 2023. Whatever Jesus wants to have
Whatever's
happen.
going to happen. Bills are going to get
It's going to get paid.
'cause I live within my means.
I live within my means. And then when I had agents calling me like in April of 2020, losing their total shit because I'm a mentor in my company. So, they're losing it. And they're like, and even some, agents that have done business for several years, and they're like, well, I don't have any business. And, what's going to happen? I'm like, well, I'm going to order some chicken fiesta and drink another bottle of wine and watch Netflix. I mean, 'cause I thought it was like a self-imposed vacation. I'm like, holy cow,
Yeah.
this is cool. Because once it started rolling and when June hit, it was like the wheels fell off the bus. But to your point about living within your means, I had savings. I had provisions.
Right.
I wasn't running to the, dealership buying a brand new BMW that I couldn't afford. I wasn't going to, Williamsburg to the Kate Spade outlet. You know what I mean? You have to be.
I didn't have an $80,000 van.
Thank you.
Wrapping around it. Yeah. And I see that a lot too in my industry because there's stagers nationally and it's all about the picture and the beautiful picture. And it's like, folks, I'm going into people's houses that you're walking in and you're seeing this couch and you're thinking in your head, oh dear God, what are we going to do with this couch?
Right.
But
That they're in love with, by the way.
or they didn't buy a new couch because they got 3 kids in college.
Mm-hmm.
And And that's where they're spending their money at.
Right.
And for you to walk in there and judge that, or that's hideous, we need to get rid of that. No, my job is to go in there and go, I know you want to get rid of this couch, but you got 3 kids in college. Let's start from there.
Yeah.
And let's make this house look good so we can sell, so you can move on to the next one. And then the wife usually whispers to me, and tell him the brown chair has to go to the dump. You know?
The wagon wheel coffee table has got to go. You know, I mean, but what you're telling me and what I'm hearing from you and what I know about you is you are looking at them as individuals and their home as an individual environment. It's a canvas that you're helping them journey through this process with no judgment of what, not everybody's house looks like Joanna Gaines threw up on it.
Right.
Okay. And by the way, people need to just back off some of those metal signs from Hobby Lobby. Okay.
The word art. Here's what I want to say about word art. Okay. Can I say about word art? We're going to toast this. Okay. I get why you like word art, because what you're trying to do is invoke a feeling.
Correct.
You're trying to invoke a feeling in that room. And when you have a sign that says welcome friends, doesn't it work better if people walk into your home and feel welcome friends versus
boom,
welcome friends?
Mic drop.
And so when you walk in a bathroom and you read, brush for the
the laundry signs, gather. Dear God, take those damn things down.
Take the gather down. If you have a gorgeous dining room set properly, all I can envision is gathering family around the table. One word art per floor. Can we do that?
Is that fair, Michael? I mean,
I think that's very fair.
That's fair.
That's very fair.
That's a good standard.
What size, though?
Whatever you want, because it's going to be temporary, because we really should be getting rid of it soon. So go to
So if you absolutely, if you got to have it, like if you have a sign in your laundry room, that's that for the floor.
And there's certain signs that mean stuff to people. It's like their wedding vow or whatever,
Correct.
Yeah. But they're trying to invoke the feeling of what that sign says. And instead, if you decorate or hire a decorator, and there's decorators that don't charge $500 an hour.
Right. You can get some, you just need some you need some third party removed eyes.
Yes. To help you invoke the feeling of family.
Well, I had you over to the house and you're like, that has to go. You're just like,
I did not.
You did. I know. I was like, I want to redo my kitchen. You're like, that's too heavy. You need pendant lights there, blah, blah, blah. But I love you because I don't take it personally.
Yeah.
And come on. You know what I mean? I know what I like. I just don't know how to get there. So I reach out to people like you because you know how to get there. I can take a magazine picture and go, I like the color scheme. I like how this looks.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to put that together.
So I know what I like. I just know what I can afford. And they're two different things.
That.
Yes.
I love that. That's the best.
My husband will say, can we bring it down to earth? Can we bring it into our budget?
Get on my level.
He calls us the full price Pershings. Whatever it is, I know we're going to pay full price.
Full price Pershing. That's almost, we should do. Can we make that to a license plate sign or something? Oh my God. So I want to circle back around quickly because I don't want to miss this point. You got to resolve this issue, but not without a lot of pain and money.
And because we live within our means,
you had the ability to
buy the one house without selling the other.
Correct.
And we had money in the bank to pay the 2 mortgages.
Right. Well, I am so thankful
to our service members overseas without their families. God
keep
bless
them in their prayers.
Thank you for what you do for us.
We're so grateful
for letting us speak our mind.
First Amendment still rules.
Yes. And we're seeing that at the World Cup. What's going on there?
Yeah.
Yep. It is, I could get into whole political commentary about that. But God bless you. Thank you for what you do for us.
We are grateful for
Cheers.
you. A grateful
Yes.
country is
Yeah.
grateful for you on Thanksgiving and all 365 days of the year. Thank you for joining us today on Real Estate and Bourbon. We could not do this without you. Please let us know your thoughts, your comments, like, share, subscribe, and thank you to Ann Pershing with Show Simply. You're a precious treasure, and I wouldn't
Love you.
do life without you.
Love you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Real Estate and Bourbon podcast hosted by Dawn Roy. Have real estate or bourbon questions or a juicy story you want us to talk about? Call our hotline at 804-293-0550 and maybe you can be on our podcast. This has been a Studio 77 production. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow the Real Estate and Bourbon podcast.